Good evening, everybody. My name is Steve Knutson with Fairfax County's Department of Transportation. And I want to welcome you to this meeting to discuss the traffic calming plan for Fairfax Farms Road. We can begin with introductions, and tonight from FCDOT, we have Banaz Raouf and Nicole Machakwe. From the Springfield District Supervisor's Office, we have Peyton Onks. And if any of the community's task force members are logged on to tonight's meeting, they can introduce themselves if they would like during the Q&A that follows the presentation. So I would like to note at this point that this is the second community meeting for traffic calming on Fairfax Farms Road, with the prior meeting held on April 23rd, 2023 that included Valley Road. Valley Road has been removed from this proposal with the current effort focusing on Fairfax Farms Road. So Banaz has a short presentation to go through, and Banaz, if you're prepared, you can go ahead and start the presentation.
Thank you, Steve. Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the meeting, and thank you all for joining us tonight. We're here to explain the traffic calming process for Fairfax Farms Road. But first, I'll go over a couple of items before I begin. Please note that the session is being recorded and may be shared on social media. Please hold all questions until the end of the presentation, and then the instruction for how to ask your question will be provided at the end. Today we are here to explain the traffic calming process, providing opportunities for community's feedback, and answering any questions you all may have. So let's begin with traffic calming. So generally, traffic calming is the installation of physical devices to reduce vehicle speed. These devices can be either vertical or horizontal. Vertical devices are driven over, such as speed hump showing on top left of the screen, while you drive around horizontal devices such as raised median island, showing on the top right of the screen. And both types of devices make the road safer for both drivers and pedestrians. And I do want you to know that through this process, you're not permitted to install stop signs. So here we have charts and images showing the effects of decreased speed. As speed decreases, visual acuity, field of vision, and depth perception increase. Also, we reduce speed, we come to significant reduction in the number and also severity of crashes involving motor vehicles. So if you look at the slide here, we have the map of traffic calming projects throughout the county. There are over 270 projects resulting in over 500 devices countywide, and every district has devices, so chances that you've driven over one is pretty high. In the upcoming program, it can be broken up into 5 steps. Step 1 is project initiation. Step 2, plan development. Step 3, community engagement. Step 4, ballot phase. And step 5, which is the final step, is project installation. And I go through each step one by one. So in step 1, all traffic calming projects are always community initiating. So the process begins with a request from the community to the supervisor's office. Once the request received, we will first complete a basic eligibility review. Next, we will conduct a traffic study, and once it passes both the eligibility and traffic study, the community will then form a task force. There are eligibility requirements that need to be met, and there are be VDOT maintained roads, have a 25 mile per hour speed limit, be functionally classified as local, collector, or arterial, and if it's collector or arterial, it needs to be residential street. There's also a traffic study components. Here we have traffic study results for Fairfax Farms. For the volume criteria, we need between 500 to 6,000 vehicles in 24 hours, both directions combined. For this project, we had 1,724, so we met the volume criteria. And for speed criteria, the 85th percentile of speed needs to be greater than or equal to 35 miles per hour. So this means that 15% of vehicles need to be traveling at 35 miles or faster in at least one direction of travel. And the speed that we found was 36 on northbound and 34 on southbound, which means we met the speed criteria as well. So plan development is the second step. First, we will conduct a site visit in the field in order to develop a draft plan. Once we have the draft plan, we will meet with the task force to get feedback and then amend the plan if necessary. Once the task force is satisfied with the draft plan, homeowners directly adjacent to any proposed measures will need to sign off the placement of the device in order to move on to the next step. Here we have device placement requirements. Based on the guideline, we need minimum 300 feet between measures and from existing stop conditions, and a minimum of 150 feet from an intersection, minimum of 150 feet for adequate set distance with any device, and it has to be fit on the existing roadway. So if we have to take into account for any driveways, manholes, utilities, and we also count for the grade of the road. So based on those requirements already mentioned, we were able to draft a plan and propose 2 speed tables, as you can see on the map here. And then addresses that are listed are the ones that need to sign off because the devices are adjacent to their homes. And here you can see a graphic of speed table. So it's going to be 22 feet long and 3 inches in the center. And in addition to that, there will be a speed hump sign and the recommended 15 mile per hour sign on each side. There will also be white chevrons on each traveling lane. So here is step 3, which is community meeting, and it is where we are here tonight. This is where we present the plan for the community to obtain feedback. And based on the feedback, the task force will decide whether to amend the plan or proceed to next phase. If the task force decides to move forward, we can move forward to the ballot phase. So in ballot phase, each household in the ballot area will receive 1 vote. It will need to send it directly to the district supervisor's office. The ballot period will be open for a minimum of 3 weeks, and supervisor's office will tally the votes and notify the task force of the result. Here we have an example of the ballot. The proposed devices will be listed on the ballot, and the community will be voting for the entire plan. The task force is here responsible for distributing the ballot packages to everyone in the ballot area. And there are 3 ways to return your ballots by the deadline. One way is that you can mail the ballot. You can also hand deliver to the supervisor's office, or you can email it to the supervisor's office. Please do not return your ballot to the task force, and please use one of the methods listed above. So here we have the ballot area map for Fairfax Farms. So there are 13 ballots, and in order for the proposed plan to move forward, we will need greater than 50% of all households to vote in favor, and so we will need 7 yes votes to move forward. If we get the required number of yes votes, we can move on step 5, project installation, and it is the final step. So the traffic calming plan will be presented to the Fairfax County Board of Supervisors, and then the resolution will be sent to VDOT. FCDOT will work with the Department of Public Works and Environmental Services to schedule installation, and finally the traffic measures on the plan will be installed. So here is the end of the presentation. Thank you so much for your attention. Now we are going to move on the question answer session. You have 2 options here. You can chat or you can speak. once the chat item is activated on Teams, you can use it by typing your questions. And if you want to speak, you can click on raise your hand icon that you'll be unmuted once it's your turn. If you're on the phone, please push *5 to raise your hand. And when it is your turn, the host will call on you to ask your question. And you need to push *6 to unmute. And after you're finished, please push *5 to unraise your hand. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Banaz.
Thank you, Manaz. Currently, we have no hands raised. I'm going to go ahead and reload. Hold on one second. Okay, and we do have one person that has their hand raised. It's an external phone number. I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. Hold on one second.
Nicole, you're muted now.
Okay, sorry.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, sorry.
Yes.
Yeah, I've been trying to, sorry, this is a little challenging with the phone. Couldn't get through the Teams. This is Nimit Shah. So thank you for the presentation. I guess, so you said the minimum 3 weeks is when we can keep the ballots open, right?
Correct.
Is what I gathered from the, is there a limit on how long it can be open, or I think a month should be good enough for us to get the signatures and everything. But what's the maximum that we can have?
The maximum time frame to leave it open. I mean, we would generally, this is a fairly small ballot area, so 3 to 4 weeks
Right.
should be sufficient, should be enough amount of time. I mean, we've left some open for, up to 5 weeks and things like that. But I would think that, with the smaller number, granted you are at the beginning of, the summer vacation time, but I think you should be able to hopefully reach out to everybody and get their feedback and input on this process.
Okay. No, I think 4 weeks should be good enough for us. I was just wondering, because some of the neighborhood people are out overseas on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I just wanted to make sure, I don't know, I'm sure they'll be back before it closes, but just didn't want to miss out on somebody who's not here. So
Okay, and if you would, and you don't necessarily have to go to ballot immediately after this meeting, but if you want to, you can. But if you want to wait for a little while, and if you feel that people might be on vacation that are in the ballot area, you can wait a little bit before you send those ballots out. But we do need an indication of when you're going to start that process, because we will need a return date on the ballot and the cover letter.
Okay. I personally don't mind starting it right now after this meeting itself. I'm pretty confident that, in Fairfax area, everybody does want to vote for and does want to go in for all this.
Okay.
So anything from our end, if you need, let us know. But I think we are pretty much ready and geared up for getting this thing done.
Okay, so we do have some templates that we will send out to Peyton Knox at the Springfield office, and she'll send them on to you. You'll just need to modify them to reflect your meeting or this particular project. It'll be a template for a cover letter in the ballot. So you'll just need to make some minor changes and select a date that you're going to disperse the ballots, and then also figure out the date that you want that ballot process to end and put that on the cover letter and on the ballot. Okay?
Yeah, we'll do that. And I believe there was another option also for the emails also, right? Because, yeah, so last time we had kept it open for both email and the mail-in ballot. I'm hoping those two options are still available to us.
You mean to return or to deliver?
So I
So the
think I will personally deliver them to their houses.
Correct.
For sure.
Yes.
But email, or as far as voting is concerned, they'll have the option to do that via email also, right?
That is correct, yes. So they can mail them in by regular mail or send them in by email or hand deliver them to the supervisor's office. So they have those three options.
That will work then. Yeah, we'll take it. And what I plan to do is just visit all the other houses again, since I know most of them over here. So, and they will send in their yeah or nays.
Okay. All right. I think we do have one other person with their hand up. So we'll move on to that other attendee. And if you have another question, just raise your hand and we will come back to you.
Can you hear me okay?
We
Yes.
can, yes.
Okay. This is Kim Sharp, and we're on the Fairfax 3908 Fairfax Farms. I am pretty sure that we can get all of these signatures on this street. Can we have them sign it and hand it to us and we send them in all together as a group? Is that possible?
No.
They have to take care of signing
Yes.
it and sending it in on their own.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can deliver, you can hand deliver the ballots or you can mail the ballots out, but the person receiving the ballot and voting has to return that ballot themselves.
Okay, and that, just to confirm, either goes by putting it in the mail or emailing,
Mhm.
and all
Or they
that
can-
information is
yep,
on the ballot for them?
correct,
Okay,
right. So we
perfect.
can pull up a sample ballot, but I think you're on by phone, so you won't be able to see it, right? Oh, no,
Oh,
you're,
no, I jumped over. I
Okay.
figured out how to get in another way. So I was able to get back over, so I can see now. And then the other question, and I apologize because I couldn't see the presentation, is once you receive all the signatures, what would be the time frame of the project getting going?
I mean, that's always hard to tell. It all kind of depends on the time of year that we receive them and when we can get the item to the board. It generally takes about 4 weeks to put together a board item and get it before the Board of Supervisors. And then it would probably take another, 90 days after that to get it to DPW and get the items contracted out for installation and get them down on the roadway. So, I mean, we could be looking at another 4 or 5 months.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, and we have nothing written in at the moment or any other hands that are raised.
Benaz, you want to put up the sample ballot? Do we have a sample ballot in this presentation? I think we do, don't we?
Yeah, you should. Mhm.
And we can see on that sample ballot the information that's included. So if anybody has any questions about that. We have the actual ballot itself, Benaz, sample ballot.
Okay.
Okay. Actually, I guess we do cut off that information on this particular slide, but generally it's going to be on the bottom of the ballot itself. It's going to have information on how to return the ballot, the email address, and the mailing address. The mailing address will also be on the flip side of the ballot itself. Generally the ballots are laid out as like a trifold, so the people, or the bifold, trifold, so people can just fold it up, tape it up, and the return address is right there on the ballot itself to the supervisor's office. But the other contact information will also be on the bottom of the ballot.
Okay, Mrs. Sharp, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. I see you have your hand raised.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I'm asking, one of the members texted me and said that can her husband sign for her on the as the owner of the property if she is out of town at the moment? So as long as one of the signatures, or does it have to be her signature?
I mean, we're generally looking for the property owner
Yeah.
to sign.
Okay. All righty, because she's logged in and but she's out of town, so she wants to make sure that they can their vote counts.
And he's not listed as a
He is
secondary.
actually, excuse me, he is the owner of the home.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's good. We got that.
Great.
Thank you.
Uh-huh. And we can go to the last page that shows some contact information if anybody does have any questions. Also, we have this presentation in a PDF format, and I do believe that we've sent it to Peyton also. If anybody would like a copy of the presentation, Peyton can send that on out to them. And Nicole, I was trying to think of the nearest place. I think maybe Oxen Road.
That would say is the closest. We also have, I was trying to find it too, but unfortunately my computer is running a little slow today.
Yeah, I mean, I would think that Oxen Road, I do believe that it has speed tables on it. So if we're looking to send people to drive over the what a speed table would be like, what one that's installed is in place already. So we have them on Oxen Road. That's off of West Ox Road, just north a little ways of the Navy School, if you know where the Navy Elementary School is on West Ox Road and Ox Trail or Rugby Road. And Oxen Road runs between West Ox Road and Thompson Road, kind of over towards Fairfax County Parkway. It's fairly close to Fairfax Farms Road, pretty easy to get to. So if people would like to go out and experience what a speed table is like, driving over it, there are a couple placed on Oxen Road.
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that Banaz just pulled up the slide that shows some contact information. So if you do have questions following this meeting, you can just call us at 703-877-5600 and say that you have a question about the Fairfax Farms Road Traffic Calming Program or project, and you will be connected to one of the three of us. Or you can email dot.info@fairfaxcounty.gov with Fairfax Farms Road in the subject line, and it will come to one of us.
Okay, we don't have currently anything written in the chat or any hands raised. We can go ahead and wait a couple more minutes. Okay, Steve, it doesn't look like we have any more coming in.
Okay, so it does sound like the task force is basically ready to go to the ballot phase. We'll go ahead and try to get those templates ready, and we'll send them out as soon as we can to the Springfield District Supervisor's Office, and Peyton Knox will forward those on to the task force, and we should be able to kind of keep this process moving forward. And Peyton, is there anything that you would like to weigh in with?
I just wanted to offer, if you wanted, I can print the ballots out for you, but your ballot area is quite tiny. A home printer may actually be sufficient for this as a first. I'm happy to print them out and mail them to you if you would like me to. Just let me know.
Okay, doesn't look like we have anybody else raising their hand. Is there any information or anything in the chat room? I don't think that there is. Nope.
No.
Nicole is saying no. So I think we're going to go ahead and log off for the evening. Again, Peyton does have a PDF of this presentation, and if requested, I think she can email it to you, and you can disperse or show it to anybody else within the area that's interested, just so they can have some information regarding this process. So thank you all for attending, and have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Yep.
Good night.